Creating and dealing with a form can be a nuisance, but it seems to be a necessary part of creating an app. So today I will create a form with React and I will focus on handling form input. To have a big picture, we're gonna store the data filled by user to the state and send to the database when the submit button is hit. In this video, I will cover the part we store the value in the state. First, we're gonna go through how to store the input data into the state with a simple form which has just the name and favorite food fields. Then I will show you how to store the data in the state in a simpler way when there are a lot of inputs to handle. And also, I will cover how to update the nested properties in the state briefly. First, we have a simple form here. When the user inserts the data like this, onChange function of this input is triggered. And on this function, we set the value of this input to the state. So remember, when the data is inserted, onChange is triggered and we update the value to the state on this function. To update the value to the state, we receive the value entered in the full name input. But before re-updating, remember we need a property and the default value in the state already. I will complete the onChange for favorite food field as well. Let's see if the state is being updated well. However, if there are 9 or 10 inputs in the form, there will be too many onChange functions to handle the data. Would it be simpler if you could control these 10 inputs in one function? So let's look at how to do that. First, let's set the properties for all the inputs in the state. And I'm gonna put the same onChange method on every input. And before we try to create a method, I will copy the method we created earlier to take a look closer what should be changed here. It seems like its value will write well because it's from the target coming from the event of that input. But the name seems to be the part that needs to be changed. Because we need to control not only the full name but all the properties we have set in the state. What we want here is the name of the element that the user is inputting and set as the key for the value. So we will set the name for each input. Then we will set this name to the key in the set state. In this way, many values were able to be managed easily using bracket. So what it does is computing the expression we put in the bracket to use as a property name. So if you miss that bracket, you will get a warning message that you haven't used the assigned name. The next case is when you have a nested object in a state. For example, when I need to create a form of this structure with a category, I make a nested object and it makes it easier to distinguish. In this case, I prefer creating onChange for each category because controlling becomes simpler when there is a modification on one of this category in the future. I will cover updating nested state on the next video again, so if you're not sure, please refer that video.